I'm gonna try one more time to do my vlog. I recorded about a half an hour vlog earlier, and my camera, perhaps if I record too long, it not only doesn't save the video, but it also deletes the video afterwards. I have no idea. I'm so inept at using electronics, and I've been struggling with this during the COVID-19 thing, trying to figure out how to do multi-track recordings digitally, which it turns out is basically impossible to do because of this problem called latency, in which the, I don't know what to call any of these things, some kind of, maybe you call it an audio card in the computer, an ASHO, disturbs the signal and gets it about, I don't know, 0.16 milliseconds or 1 millisecond behind. And so if you try to play along with a pre-recorded track, you can't. And if you look this up on the internet, they say, well, if you want to do a live overdub, you have to go to a professional recording studio, which makes you wonder what any of these programs are for. Okay, I'm done ranting now. We're only 1 minute and 17 seconds into the video, so I think that's enough of a rant to bemoan my sorry lot at having my previous video lost. So anyways, I had a schematic for how I wanted my video to go earlier. Now it does say it's recording, so this should really be recording. I just can't know, and it's so frustrating. But I was going to do show and tell, meet an animal. Then I was going to talk about a friend of mine who did something creative or whatever, an unpaid advertisement, I called it. I was going to play a song, show some new artwork, and do goodbyes. Now, on my previous attempt, we met Timecube the pigeon first, because I had him inside and then I took him outside. But now he's outside because it's getting later and the sun's going down. So we'll have to see if maybe we can just meet him in his loft outside, although I wanted you to be able to meet him inside. And I had him in here earlier, and he was bouncing around and doing his thing. But now, he's out here in his environment. You can see him up there. So we'll meet him real quick. He gets grumpy out here. He was a rescue homing pigeon, and he's got like PTSD, so he gets very guarded out here in his own environment. Inside, he's a lot friendlier. But hey, Timecube. He's got one eye because he had a virus when I found him, and I nursed him back to health for about a month, feeding him antibiotics out of a little dropper. And so anyway, this is Timecube. He lives out here. He's got his little bell there going and everything. Now you don't get to know him very well. This is his bathtub. He hasn't taken a bath today, but some days he does when it's very nice out, as it is today. Looks like my video is still going. 3 minutes. This hinge really needs to be fixed, but it works pretty good for now. 3 minutes and 44 seconds in. And it looks like it's really recording so far, so hopefully it keeps that way. Now, we'll go back in, and we'll do the show and tell segment of our show. And it's so funny because I just did all of this stuff earlier, but we'll do it again before we really give up. These were painted by my friend Abby. The stairs, they're beautiful. And take 2. This is some of Mandy's artwork going through here. You can't see it very well. We'll showcase it one of the other weeks if these really do start to work. With some artwork I did in 1997 at this old warehouse I lived in, and I did it on the big drywall sections and then cut the drywall sections out. It was the Intergalactic Heritage Site listed in the Trans-Dimensional Registry of Notable Areas in here. This is my zone, you know. This is the dress that had belonged to Cyndi Lauper originally, and I have a video of her singing in it. It's pretty cool. So anyways, my show and tell, and it does look like our video is still going. We're only 5 minutes into it now, so maybe if it keeps shorter, we can really do these vlogs. So my show and tell this week, some of you may know, I found in an abandoned house in the woods a whole bunch of papers and materials related to an artist that I had written a book about, Herbert Crowley. And the Herbert Crowley book came out in 2019, and that tells a little bit of that story, and you can get it online, the biography, the section with the writing. Oh, there's these fancy slipcase editions I'm not so crazy about because it's hard to get access to the actual book, but everybody likes the, what do they call it, design or whatever. So these this is all the text, and it tells you a little bit about in here about finding these papers of this woman, Mary Mowbray Clark, who was an artist and bookshop owner, and you know, kind of like countercultural mover and shaker in the 19-teens and 20s, and then she was a landscape architect and gardener and all kinds of stuff. And it was her house that was abandoned up in the woods that I found all these historically important papers and everything in, among which were, well, this is where I have all of them, you know, and you can kind of get a sense of what they're like. They were thousands of silverfish in these when I pulled them out of the house, just soaking wet with water and, you know, damage and everything else. And it's just an unbelievable amount of papers. All these boxes contain the papers, and these were, my friend Liz McDermott helped me seal these with, you put a heat gun on it and everything, and it makes a hermetically sealed chamber to kill the silverfish and whatnot. So yeah, and some of this has crept into my own artwork, like this woman, Alice Richardson, aka Ratan Devi. She toured the United States playing Indian music in 19-teens, and her husband Ananda Coomaraswamy would introduce her and everything. And because of digging up some of their personal history, I started to have these nightmares about Coomaraswamy, that he was angry because I was telling about the affair with Aleister Crowley and her and him and all of this stuff. So this is Alice Richardson, aka Ratan Devi, and some of my more recent artwork, and that's Aleister Crowley and the mummified embryonic spider human that Coomaraswamy showed me in a dream to try to get me to not tell the personal details of his life. This represents him. This is a fire in the necropolis of unsettled spirits. Arthur B. Davies is the unicorn, and that's the lion. So yeah, that's just a little bit of my own stuff with that. But one of the things I found in those papers was this incredible little postcard, Christmas postcard. I didn't know what it was when I first found it. You can see the little signature there, 1933, a stylized signature, kind of winter spray, and got this note inside, December 19th, 1933. Dear Mary, we hope you have a very pleasant holiday season and a new year full of happy prospects. Our horizon seems to show a glimmer of light, and we are all well. With much love from all of us, Charles, Bertha, and Little Bunches. So who's Charles, Bertha, and Little Bunches? Well, it's one of the artists that Mary Mowbray Clark helped to promote at her bookshop, and really the only reason that he was able to pay his bills as an artist was because of her. This is a book about him that has a chapter about the early patronage of Mary Mowbray Clark and Burchfield. He came to New York in 1916, and she was the only person that really took interest in his work, and she promoted it and showed it at her bookshop, and it's really incredible. He was a really incredible artist. So this is some of his work, to give you a sense of what his artwork was like. It's just totally shockingly gorgeous, and there's a whole museum up in Buffalo dedicated to him that I still want to go through their archive because there's letters from Mary to him and vice versa. But now all my archival research is, of course, on hold because of the Trump virus. That's what we should all call it. A friend of mine just said that, and I'm on board with that. So the Trump virus has shut down my research as of now. But anyways, so this is Burchfield. Now, I was going to donate the papers that I found in this abandoned house to the Smithsonian when I'm done. And Liza, the archivist at the Smithsonian, told me recently, she sent me an email. She said, oh, there's an artist doing some research about Burchfield that he's going to use in his own artwork. And this artist, Josh Dorman, sent me this amazing email about his research, particularly into that winter spray postcard, which the Smithsonian has one. This is the one that they have in their archive. So it's very similar. I guess he did these, he would do them kind of assembly line style. And then this artist, Josh Norman, he said to me, oh, I'm working on my own piece of artwork incorporating it. And there it is. You can see it in his painting. And on the computer screen, maybe you don't quite get it, but it's a really, really beautiful painting. So I thought that was so cool. And I got in touch with him and I showed him my, Burchfield postcard that's very similar and everything. And we geeked out about that for a while. So this is the artwork I'm working on right now as I kind of in between other things. I think most of this I'll fill in with text. And this is also text about some of my nightmares I've been having and lucid dreams. I bit through my tongue and woke up with blood all over my pillow because I was trying to stop the virus or whatever. Anyways, and these are a lot of my notes for my nonfiction research and books that have to do with that and stuff. So another thing I wanted to do in these is I wanted to do an animal, show off an animal, one of the pets, and then show off a show and tell, which I just did my show and tell about the Burchfield thing. And then I wanted to show off the work of a friend or something, and so it's not so egotistical all about my own work. So this is my friend Ish Klein. She's a genius, brilliant, amazing, incredible poet. Really one of my favorite poets, and she's got a couple of books that have been published for on Canarium Books is the publisher. There's 4 of them. The New Sun Time, Union, Consolation and Mirth, Moving Day. And a lot of these ones come from Mandy's collection, and many of them, not all of them, are signed, inscribed to Mandy. So I just borrowed these out of her room earlier. So very cool. This is Klein, Canarium Books. And she's got, this was her newest one, New Sun Time. And actually my favorite in this book is the first poem in here, Satanic Rites of the Dracula. These rites are on computer everywhere. Cool people are in furry vests. The past. Someone's delirious. He got the rope off. Vest didn't notice, and then, crazy, if he's frozen, he is sitting one out. He's getting out of the house. Control rooms notified. They're rubbing the red crosses off. Gin, skin, red leather, yellow leather. You're sure it was Cole Porter, the cockerel? There's an IV drip in the reel-to-reel room. Oh, he's a spy. Photos in his watch. I think it gets to a lot of like how things feel these days. With the internet stuff and everything. I'm not sure exactly what she was, if that's what her intention was, but it's kind of the feeling it gives me. Everything tangled, the edges of images. It's like they play hide and seek with us. Old lands do on their way to the new. So yeah, and me and Mandy years ago, I don't remember, it must have been 2009 or something, we did a video with Ish Klein narrating. We did the artist Leonora Carrington's As They Rode Along the Edge, and Ish Klein narrated it, and we put it up on YouTube, and this is an excerpt from it.
Teresa never thought of underwear of reinforced concrete, he said. In fact, I can at the moment
Ish has this great narrator voice, you know. Me and Mandy did all these paintings together.
The church was lined with statues of Saint Alexander at various periods of his life. There were some of Jesus Christ too, but much smaller. The interior of the church was very comfortable. Velvet cushions in ash pink, Bibles of real silver, and my unblemished life for the rosaries of the soul of Saint Alexander by himself. This in a binding of peacock blue jewels. Amber bas-reliefs on the walls gave intimate details of the life of the saint in childhood. Gather yourselves, said Saint Alexander, and the 100 cats sat down on 100 ash-pink cushions. Virginia remained standing and examined the church with interest. She sniffed the altar, which exuded a vaguely familiar smell, though she couldn't remember where she had smelled it. Saint Alexander mounted the pulpit and explained that he was going to perform a miracle. Everyone hoped he was talking about food. He took a bottle of water and sprinkled drops everywhere. Snow of purity, he began in a very low voice. Pillar of virtue.
So that was, me and Mandy did all those paintings. We did about 100 paintings, maybe more. We did a lot of paintings for that video with Ish narrating it. And yeah, so I was pretty proud of that. And that was our collaborative project, rather. I guess you could call it a product too, but everybody's so obsessed with everything being some kind of product anymore. Some people say there's no silver lining to anything. I think there's always a silver lining to everything. But if there's any one to this Trump virus, maybe it's that we'll stop thinking of everything like it is some kind of product or something, you know. What it was a production, you know, really, with Ish. And a really cool creative time that we had with her, narrating that and working on all of the paintings. So, we're at 16 minutes and 52 seconds, and I don't want to get too long-winded. A lot of the nonfiction research that I've been doing and all of those papers that you saw over there has been used in various books. And that's one of the things I'm most proud of with the Herbert Crowley research and now the Mary Mowbray Clark research. Like, this is from a glass plate negative that I pulled out of that old house. Madge Jennison of the Sunwise Tern Bookshop in this book. Here was a newer version of Madge Jennison's book about Sunwise Tern that uses the same image. This was like an online publication, Shell Shock, about the Cromwell twins. And the Cromwell twins were actually in a piece of artwork. I did a whole piece of artwork about the Cromwell twins. Here they are. And here they are. And they were twin sisters that were born into a lot of money, and during World War I they volunteered for the Red Cross, and they did a extra super extraordinary job in their Red Cross duties, and they didn't have this term for it then, but they call it PTSD now, and on their way home they jumped overboard and committed suicide, dual suicide, and they were close friends of Mary Mowbray Clark. She was their teacher and everything, and in this book there got to be an addendum, so it says, you know, that this was, here they are, so you see them, and here they are. So Justin Durr, author of The Temple of Silence, currently working on a biography of Mary Mowbray Clark, you know, and it says, oh, I wrote to them with more information about the Cromwell twins and everything. So, I like to end these with a song if I can, and I have a Cromwell twins song, and I normally sing it with Mandy, but she said she couldn't remember the chorus right now, and we might do it together next week, but this week I'll do it by myself just because I can remember it, and it comes from this book. Oh, that's Flamin' Shadow by Sarah Teasdale. I want the Cromwell twins. Here it is. The Gates of Utterance by Gladys Cromwell. I had searched for this book for a while, and I finally was able to find it. And Star Song is the one that we worked out. Listen here. Well, maybe Star Song's not in this one. See, this is why my other one was probably a little better, because I worked it out ahead of time. But anyway, she was a great poet. And Mary Mulberry Clark was sort of a, you know, impetus for her creativity, and gave her encouragement to pursue her creativity. Her family didn't. They referred to it as the publicity, because that was the Gilded Age era of the wealthy families had all the fame and everything, and they couldn't tell the difference between somebody being famous for being a poet or just being famous for wealth, and they didn't actually want that kind of fame. So Star Song is probably in here. I wonder if there's an index of first lines. Star Song, yes, 59, page 59. So it's page 59. There we go. Star Song. So I could do this song, and then that'll be the end of it. It's 21 minutes now. So it's not too long, and the song is only 3 minutes long. If that. Mandy, I gotta redo it because for some reason my camera deleted my whole video the first time. I got so frustrated, but I'm redoing it, I won't get you on the camera, unless you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay. But I showed Time Cube out in his environment. Oh, could you videotape me?
Sure.
Can you videotape me doing Star Song?
Yeah, but I might sing along.
Okay, well, if you remember the chorus, you can sing along. But it might be good if you hold the camera, because I don't know how to aim it at myself, Okay. So the musical part comes at the end, because I figure a lot of people will turn it off, So if you'd like, you can just stop now and say, "Oh God."
Oh God, this guy and his guitar.
Yeah, great.
Oh my God.
Yeah, guy and his guitar. Whoever heard of such a thing?
If it wasn't bad enough already.
I'm not gonna do Pink Floyd. I mean, I like Pink Floyd, but anyway. So Star Song. Oh my gosh. Can I remember it? I'm just gonna do it. I don't even care if I can remember it. And if it's bad, it's bad. It is what it is. Okay. You can sing along if you remember it. Go the other way because the image will be the image is going to be I won't be able to flip it later, you know what I mean? Okay. There are twisted roots that grow even from a fragile white anemone, but a star has no roots to and fro. In the light of the sky like a water lily, and fades on the blue flood. Is it still recording? Do you still see the little numbers one?
Yeah.
Maybe this time it'll work. God willing. Ferdy's like, I am in my little basket. Hi, everybody.
Here you go.
I hope we never get COVID-19 and we can't pet Ferdy anymore. I can't live that way.
Did you show everybody these peach blossoms?
I didn't show off any of the plants. I was waiting for next week, maybe for the plant episode. Oh my God, it won't zoom out now. I've been having so many problems with technology, electronics and stuff. It's like the whole theme. Here's a Herbert Crowley roller. The little one's a roller. Where's the cherry? The peach blossoms. Ooh. All right. Well, till next week. Hopefully we'll keep doing these and COVID-19 won't take us out and make it so we can't do them anymore. This is dried tobacco that to me sort of looks like skulls or something, and I did a whole drawing about it. Nobody could ever guess what it was that I was drawing, but it was these. And, well, we'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.